Are you starting a business in Indiana and need to verify some LLC details? Or maybe you want to check the status of another company? Well, you're in the right place. Discover how to access this crucial information entirely for free. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the Indiana Business Registry to unlock exactly how you can conduct a comprehensive, zero-cost search. Whether you're an entrepreneur making sure your new brand name is available or an investor doing some background digging, we've got you covered.
You see, knowing how to properly look up an LLC is honestly one of the most important tools in your investigative toolkit. For compliance teams, entrepreneurs, and investors, this process answers a foundational Know Your Business or KYB question. Is this legal entity real, active, and exactly who it claims to be in official state records? Without confirming that first, any further due diligence like signing contracts or transferring funds operates on a completely unverified premise. Transparency is literally everything in business, and the state of Indiana actually makes it remarkably easy to verify.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. Intro and LLC basics. 2. Step-by-step lookup guide. 3. Decoding your search results. 4. Practical tips and troubleshooting. 5. Accuracy and legal considerations. And finally, 6. Summary and final disclaimer. Let's start with Section 1, Intro and LLC Basics. Okay, let's dive right into this by establishing exactly what our subject, the LLC, actually is within the state of Indiana. Under the Indiana Business Liability Act, a limited liability company, or LLC, is a hybrid structure. It brilliantly combines the limited liability protections of a corporation with the single pass-through taxation of a partnership. What this means in Indiana is that LLCs don't issue stock. Instead, ownership interests are held by members, and the day-to-day operations are governed by an internal operating agreement. Because it's so flexible, the LLC is the most common entity type you're going to encounter in your searches. Moving right along to Section 2, Step-by-Step Lookup Guide.
Now that we know what we're looking for, it's time to hand you your toolkit. We'll be using INBiz, which is Indiana's modernized and completely free online portal for business services. Think of INBiz as your digital magnifying glass. Step 1 is super simple. Just go to bsd.sos.in.gov/public-business-search. A quick pro tip from the docs. INBiz works best on Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge because Internet Explorer support was actually dropped back in 2021. And the best part about all of this, there's absolutely no user login required. You just jump in, choose your match type, enter your search details, and click the business ID.
On that search page, you have 5 different fields you can use to hunt down an entity. Business name is the default, and honestly, usually your best starting point. But if you have a specific document on hand, you can search by the unique 10-digit Indiana Business ID or filing number. You can even search by registered agent name or incorporator or governing person if you're trying to find all the different businesses associated with one particular individual.
The portal also asks you to select a match type, and this is where a lot of people get tripped up. You've got options like exact match and contains. I highly recommend using contains for broad reconnaissance. It finds businesses where your search term appears anywhere in the name, catching slight variations you might otherwise miss. On the other hand, use exact match only when you are 100% certain of the precise legal name and just need to pull up that specific record.
Now for Section 3, Decoding Your Search Results. We're moving from simply finding a business to actually reading the clues hidden in the data.
Once you hit Search and click on that blue 10-digit business ID link in the results table, you unlock a tremendous wealth of information in the entity profile. Here, you can verify the exact legal name and entity type. You'll see the principal office address, the creation date, which shows exactly how long they've been in business, and critically, the name and address of the registered agent, who is the person authorized to accept legal documents for the company. You'll also spot the business entity report due date.
Right in the middle of that profile, you'll see the entity status field. In the world of Know Your Business risk signals, treating all non-active statuses the same is a huge mistake. Active means low risk. They are current on their filings. Inactive or voluntarily dissolved just means the owners purposely chose to close up shop, so obviously don't rely on it for new business. But if you see admin dissolved, pay extremely close attention. That means the state involuntarily terminated the business, and that is a massive red flag.
So, why does a business get admin dissolved? Well, in Indiana, it almost always boils down to a compliance failure. Unlike some states that require annual filings, Indiana requires LLCs to file a business entity report, or BER, biannually, which means every 2 years. And it costs just $32 to do this online. If a business fails to file this simple report, the state shuts them down. While it could just be a clerical oversight by a disorganized owner, it can also be an early indicator of a business in deep financial distress or even a dormant shell company.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Practical Tips and Troubleshooting. Real-world searches can get a little messy, so let's look at how to avoid common dead ends.
If you're struggling to find a company you know for a fact exists, you're probably just being a little too specific. The database is very literal. So drop the LLC designator from your search completely. Avoid all punctuation. For example, don't search for Riverwalk Studios, LLC, just type Riverwalk Studios. Always check for typos or misspellings. And again, rely on that contains filter if an exact match is coming up empty.
But what if you do all of that and you still get 0 results? Well, before you accuse a potential vendor of being a total fraud, ensure they aren't just operating as a sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorships often only file paperwork down at the local county recorder's office. Because they aren't formal legal entities like an LLC, they simply will not appear in the Secretary of State's database. If you've corrected your spelling and you're still coming up empty, you may need to contact the Indiana Secretary of State's office directly for further assistance.
Next up is Section 5, Accuracy and Legal Considerations. We need to set some boundaries on what this database actually tells us legally.
Seeing an active status on the InBiz portal is fantastic. It confirms the business legally exists and has met its basic reporting compliance. However, for serious legal or financial transactions, an online active status isn't always enough. If a business needs to open a bank account, secure financing, or register to operate in another state, they require true good standing. In Indiana, proving this requires purchasing a formal, certified certificate of existence directly through the portal, which costs $21.42.
It is also super vital to remember what an INBiz search does not show. An SOS search is a great foundation for due diligence, but it's really only step 1. It will not show you the beneficial ownership, the UBOs behind an LLC if they used a registered agent. It won't show you a company's financial health, their bankruptcies, their litigation history, or any SEC filings. For a complete risk profile, you always have to combine this free state data with other investigative sources.
Which brings us to Section 6, Summary and Final Disclaimer.
We've covered a tremendous amount of ground today, but the sheer simplicity of using the INBiz toolkit to verify Indiana businesses for free is just awesome. Over 500,000 active users rely on INBiz today. That massive number validates the platform and proves its essential role for transparency in the state. By leveraging the contains filter, understanding the risk of admin-dissolved entities, and looking past basic name searches, you now have the power to verify businesses with total confidence.
Before we wrap up, I do need to share a quick disclaimer. This explainer provides informational content only and should not be considered legal advice. While the INBiz portal is highly accurate, business structures and compliance requirements are incredibly complex. Always consult with qualified legal or financial professionals for specific legal needs, official due diligence, or before making any major decisions based on public registry data. You now have the exact blueprint to navigate the Indiana Secretary of State's registry like an absolute pro. You know how to bypass the common search errors, decode the risk signals hidden in state jargon, and verify the legitimacy of any LLC in the state without spending a single dime. Now that you have the knowledge, it's time to take action. So, I leave you with this. Who will you investigate next with your newly acquired INBiz toolkit? Thanks for joining me on this explainer and happy searching.